We have quorum, so I will call to order, and Neil, roll call.
Susan.
Here.
Decker.
Yes.
Keaton.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Here. Okay, on the third item, we've got the approval of the appointment of the board member to fill a vacant seat left by Alan Poe's resignation. If you remember, I know it's been a while, but we sent out, I know there's some questions on the bylaws. We did check those, I sent out to everybody, so any discussion or anything before?
No, the only thing is, I did check with Charlene Bixler, and she's still interested in being on the committee too, if that would be a consideration. I mean, she has good history in tourism and governmental activities. I think she would be a good choice, but that's the only comment I have.
And I'll just go from what, I mean, typically when somebody leaves, it's kind of their recommendation that's brought towards. Like I said, I've only seen it twice because I was done and then Alan, so. Any other
Was Mr.
discussions?
Stats his recommendation?
Yes.
I see.
Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve Jack Stats to fill the vacant board member's position? I have a
Second.
motion, and I have a second. Any other discussion?
When do we have, like, when's the next board position
Coming open?
Because Charlene, I think she would be a very good one to have.
I don't know when everybody came on either.
What is her name again, Charlene?
Charlene Bixler.
March
Oh, yeah,
9th.
Bixler, okay. Should've-
March 9th is the next.
Next opening, and whose position, is that Matt's?
Well, that'd be the next meeting. When do they open? Same time they're here, just 1 3-year term to rotate, right? They're offset.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another year before somebody comes off. I don't have that.
Oh, I see.
Can you check on that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
Okay,
And we'll
Make
bring
sure.
that up on the next.
have it.
okay.
That's all right. Let's go ahead and do roll call on that first, Neil.
Okay.
One motion.
Susan.
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes. Okay. And I'll write that down so we can talk about that at the next one. Number 4, approval of minutes from September 8th, 2020, regular meeting. You guys have seen the packet or you have it in front of you. If there are no changes or no mistakes, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussions or have anybody found anything? Okay, roll call.
Susan.
Yes.
Kay.
Yes.
Jeremy.
Yes.
Bo.
Yes. Okay, number 5, we have the approval of the financials to date. Neil, do you want to, any big changes?
Not any big changes. You'll see we have 29,590 that will be transferred from the industrial committee.
What page are you on, Neil?
Number 1, the balance sheet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha, all right.
As you can see, all your checking, the total. go over unless Sonia's got something.
I told him I was gonna come today because it's the end of the year and we're getting stuff ready to go to auditor, and this is new thing for him. So I wanted to come this time. And there's some things that hasn't experienced yet with it being in December. We will get some rail car charge for the fiscal year from AVAR. We will also get some administrative income. I'll be calculating that up for the administration of the incubator at Winoka and those checks. So, I mean, there is some funding yet that we'll receive, you guys will receive. That is not reflected in here. I don't have that total for you yet, though. But he's been working to get stuff ready for audit. I have been bugging.
Are you using the same lady?
Yep. Kim, Mayor from Blackwell.
Are we still working on some of some of the ones that haven't
Yes.
paid in, we're still trying to?
And then some of them are also quarterly.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's why they show up over here in that
So
color.
we got some of it, just not all of it.
Right.
Gotcha.
And the other thing, we've got two that I know of back, which was OG&E and who was the other one, do you remember? Pioneer.
Pioneer.
Yeah, so they actually contributed this year, which they hadn't in the last couple of years. They had quit, so
Really?
we got those back. So,
Change of policy. A lot of it was change of policy
procedures of what they went.
and how they were doing things.
So, me being
Last year,
unknowledgeable, I just called and asked.
I fought with them. And then we got a new contact besides Tony Pickle.
Is she retired or still there?
No, she's still there, but he's got a new contact now that he's working with. So
Okay,
seems to have a better avenue.
good.
So, anyway, that's where we are on that, and that's why those are in the red, because we haven't
Yeah, the red is just because that's for that year.
uncollected.
No, that's the collected for the year.
Yeah, we don't
Oh, the
get,
red is collected?
Yes,
we
Oh.
don't get red,
Okay,
so
my fault.
this one here.
we don't get that. It doesn't show up as red.
Okay, well, the last one.
This one.
Okay. Maybe,
You're
maybe
not
you
there.
guys are looking at some, I don't, mine's not
You're
red,
not on the
so,
same page. Oh, well.
no,
It's
Okay.
that last column, yours isn't.
it's at the last column. Okay,
Yeah,
Yeah.
gotcha.
it's under FY 2021.
Okay,
All right, any other questions on financials?
I was trying to think if there was something else I wanted to make sure you guys know. That you might need to explain. Yeah, there is. I don't know how many of you, because this is a fairly new board, understand what NOEDA is, Northwest Oklahoma Economic Development Authority. That's a tri-county board, and they divided up their money and put it in 3 pools. That's not how they used to do it, and that's something that they just did as I was transitioning out of this role. And they only meet 3 times a year. So in February, he will have to submit the budget that you guys approved and how much you want to pull out of what your elected portion is. And generally, in the past, what we've done is ask for $20,000 and we use it for operations, and that's what we have to tell them. We provide them with a copy of our audit, we provide them with our approved budget, and we ask them for what we want for operations. It used to be that they would just divide up what they had received that year in tipping fees and retain a portion of it to build on, and then divide the rest of it up between 3 counties. And so you never knew if you were getting $12,000 or you were getting $30,000. And so what they've done is they've taken what they have and divided it up so each county knows what they have banked. And you can ask for it for grants, if you need grants for something. But we always ask, that's our big operating pledge right there is Nowita.
Is it
We-
equitably distributed among the three counties?
It is equally distributed. They went back and they made sure of it on who had taken the most out of it or whatever. So I mean, they made sure that everybody had equal amounts. We don't have equal because like Major County has asked for more. Woodward doesn't ask for any. And the reason they don't is because of how they're set up and they don't want to abide by the open meeting law, so they're set up as a foundation. And so they don't ask for any.
Is the 20,000 we'll ask, is that the max that we would take? Okay,
If we needed more,
so there's more.
then you could ask for more. I don't remember, I don't know if
We
we
took
stuck it in
30
there.
last year.
Because you guys were gonna add another person possibly. Well, and to cover your salary for that person. While I was
So,
here. Generally,
In
we
the
ask
budget
for
for the next year, we only put down for 20, but that doesn't mean that that can't change.
But this 24 coming that will last for February, that's covering for this fiscal year?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they distribute it in February. I just wanted you to be aware of that. In February, you'll have, if that's what you decide.
It'll uptick.
You guys need to decide what you want, but I think that's what you approved in your budget was 20,000.
Well, some of that might come a little bit with our other conversations.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So are there funds available for project grants?
There is, don't remember if I stuck that in there or not, from the financials, the balance from Nowita.
No,
It's like 70,000 right now.
Okay.
And so if you take out the 20 you're gonna ask for, you got around $50,000, I believe, in that pool. You wanna leave about 20,000 in there, so I would say about 30 is what you'll have.
Okay.
They do have, I mean, they wanna know what it's gonna be used for. You have to plead your case that it is for economic development, they want it to be job creation. Now is a good time if you want to spin it for something else, I mean, on how economic development is changing, now's the time to probably do that. Just throwing that out there, but I didn't know how many, if you all were aware of that.
Do project funds requests need to come through this
This
entity?
committee,
So, do I need to make a request right now
from,
from Freedom West?
it'll have to come through here, and it will need to be, he will need to contact, Major County and have them stick it on their agenda for February.
Okay.
Unless you need it prior to that, they'll have a special.
I serve on that committee, so.
Right, we appointed you
Yeah,
and take
so,
Sandy's
yeah,
place.
I serve on that committee, so.
I think it'd probably be better if you got it to Neil when we get on the next agenda, because I wouldn't want to really vote on it without it being on the agenda.
Gotcha, yeah. Okay, well, we've been talking about this project since last year, and I need some support for this project.
Can you refresh me what it is since I wasn't
Yes, it's
here?
the downtown, Freedom West purchased a building location downtown. We're building a new building. It's going to house a restaurant, entertainment space, maker space. It's where the old furniture store was on the north side of the square. There will be about 30 employees at that location. And we're getting ready to start construction after the first of the year.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good one to get on next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not.
Are these gonna be new jobs, Kay, or are these existing employees?
No, they're new jobs.
These are about all 30 new jobs.
The business doesn't exist.
Well, right, but I didn't know if any of these individuals existed in other places, like at the college or somewhere else, that they might have had some other funding sources that you're gonna aggregate those individuals together. You don't have, these people are all gonna be brand new.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
All right, that's good discussion. Any other discussion?
I just wanted to get
No,
aware
that's
of
good.
that.
It's great to know. I think a lot of us are, I know that's new to me, so. All right, if not, I'll take a motion to approve the financials today.
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? Roll call?
Susan?
Yes.
Decker?
Yes.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes. I'm just writing a few notes for what Sonia talked about. Okay, next is number 6, approval of proposed goals and objectives for FY21 is presented by me. If you remember, I sent this out to everybody, took everybody's input. I should have made more copies, but just going over real quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I tried to find mine up here in front of me, I could not
No,
find it.
no problem. I'll go ahead and go through these and then she'll have some things where you read, but our objectives and goals was create resource guide for marketing and site selections, continue to work on telecommunication upgrades for the county, large-scale job creation, which we talked about for manufacturing, agribusiness, tourism, aviation, expand, retain, and support existing businesses, work with and educate legislators on municipal government actions that affect our community, and then continuing our talk for the regional DOC training center for Queen. The director expectations were attend city council meetings and meet with other chamber of commerce contacts. The second was communicate relevant information to committee and relevant entities, being city managers, chamber people, and then represent Woods County professional development for state and citywide events. So again, we'll wait for her to get the copies, but those, in a nutshell, is kind of what everything packed into what we got from all the board members.
So, I can't remember, did we kind of have a timeline on anything, or?
Basically, this is something else that we would review at the end of the fiscal year.
Okay.
And I'm assuming is it still through, I'm always on a school fiscal year, so,
I think.
Our
this
fiscal
is-
year is the same, I think.
okay.
Yeah, I think
We
it's,
go to September,
Okay,
yeah.
so that would still be good timing, because I know some of these are, I mean,
Well, some of it's ongoing, some of it's, you kind of have a end date and, yeah. Thank you.
and if we think, I mean, if any kind of wording or wordsmithing or addition of anything, but again, this kind of met pretty much everybody's, if you had sent stuff into me, so. And I'll basically kind of create a little thing at the end that I'll have all board members that will fill out, kind of for a review of this.
Yeah, I think the list is good. I don't know if we need to state them in measurable terms or,
We talked about,
obviously some of it's ongoing all the time.
yeah, I don't know how you would, on some of them, I don't know how you would do that, really.
I know, I guess. And then Neil, your director's report every time probably needs to follow along with this to help.
I've got one here and I'll give it and then you tell me if it's.
I think it
what
has
you
so
want.
far.
Yeah, I mean, that would be probably an ongoing deal because,
Yes, it should be, yeah.
All right, any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion for approval of proposed goals and objectives.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call?
Susan,
Yes.
Kay,
Yes.
Jeremy,
Yes.
Bo.
Yes. Number 7, discussion possible action regarding proposal for an economic development website, including creation, maintenance information, tracking and use for recruitment tool. I can tell you right now, I think this is going to be more just discussion because we're so early into it. But myself, Neil, and then Darren was able to sit in on it. There was a presentation by, and I'm going to forget the Golden Shovel, basically which would create a website for this organization that would help actually with some of these objectives and goals. Neil, we just got something today that I think we asked for, which is basically kind of it was a proposal that we'll send out to all the board members, kind of let you see what we had. I mean, it was a brief meeting last week? Yeah. Forgive me, it's the end of the semester. But this proposal, because I basically said we're not going to even consider anything until we got something in writing that talked about numbers and the services and that kind of stuff. So can you get that forwarded to everybody?
Yep.
Do you guys have anything to add? I mean, this is something they gave some ideas where they, Helena, Arkansas, and Duncan, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would tell you the one that I would look at, and I haven't seen what they sent out, but go to Duncan's Industrial Development Authority website. And so there's about 5 different tabs from site locations to workforce. And so it's not there's a lot of data, demographics, and information for site selectors or people looking at the region. But they can glean from that information. So it's not only a recruitment tool for it's really not a Chamber of Commerce website. It's an economic development website. So somebody looking at bringing business to the county, that they can find, open buildings that was posted there. There's cost associated with, there's things that talks about, education and workforce training. The other side of it that this company had did, and there's 2 videos that I saw, but they were more of the whole recruitment. So think about Woods County and breaking all the areas that we had talked about. So I'm gonna start out with the one that I'm passionate about, but education. And so it had the college, it had the career center, it had the high schools, and it had quality of life things. So it had the, for us, I'm thinking, you had the dunes, you had the Alabaster Caverns, you had, even thinking a little bit regionally, when people come in, you'd have the Great Salt Plains, you'd have the car show, you'd have the UTV takeover, you go on and on, but it had some clips of that. Then it had the outdoor wildlife, so hunting, fishing, hospitals, airports. And so it was about a 7-minute, 10-minute video that encompassed almost like what you'd see on Oklahoma, This Is a Great State or what, where you see some of those advertisement type videos that encompass all the things that Woods County would have to offer to somebody sitting in Oklahoma City, Chicago, or wherever that was looking at it. But then the website itself was truly an economic development tool versus a relocation of a family. It was more about businesses and workforce and location and that type of stuff. And so that was the take on them. It was not just an informational website development, but it was more of a economic development. And then there was a lot of tracking and things. And the interesting piece was, and if you guys have been involved in websites, and I keep looking at Kay, she understands that they're expensive. Bo and I talked about that. One of the cool things about this one, there was some monitoring and some other additional tools, but if you subscribe to those, that your initial investment after 3 years, they would give you a total rebuild for no additional cost. And so you think about your website being brand new 3 years and then turned around again in 3 years being a new update to it as well. And so it just made the cost seem more palatable over a 6-year period versus just a 3-year initial.
How long has this company been in business?
Say that again.
How long has this company been in business?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. I have 5,000 questions to ask.
Well, that's what,
You know,
we couldn't answer all those. It was just a brief conversation. I think that proposal will probably help a lot of people. the other good thing is similar to what he was talking about, options for, obviously a fee per year, but they can basically become your marketing
Yeah, well,
person.
that would actually take that goal of the directory, and that's what it should be.
Yes.
And it should be digital as well as a printable, if somebody needs an executive summary.
They can go as far as 3D, if you wanted to
Yeah.
show them buildings, show them land, show them,
Yeah.
things that you have to offer. There's a lot of bells and whistles, but like I said, we didn't want to get too, I think they got farther in the weeds than we wanted to, because they were asking stuff from us that we're like, we have to go get that information. And so,
When do you think you would meet with them again?
We'll probably meet with them pretty quickly, and
I told them our meeting was today, so I was happy that they got the proposal back to us, so we can get that out there and running. And then I think probably another kind of a Zoom meeting with everybody, just so we can get,
Yeah, I'd like to be involved in
Yep.
that.
That
Question,
would have to be a special meeting. if we're-
or we could break it up, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, if you just wrote your question, I don't know, but you probably have so many, it'd be,
Or since-
what you're saying.
Yeah, we could have maybe a couple more do it.
I just didn't want to get into
Yeah.
quorum problem.
No, that's a good
You
point.
know,
so, because we are a governmental entity, we need to make sure if we're required to post our meeting agendas and whatnot, that's gonna have to be part of this. I don't know, there's a fine line there. If it's a marketing tool, but that's something that you've gotta look at.
But, we could do that real easy by giving them the dates, that we published, that we're having a meeting. Give that to them, and make sure that they put that on.
And that part was they called us a gatekeeper.
Right.
So again, if we had anything or wanted to update things, or they would do all that. We basically give them the information they do.
And I was gonna wait till my report, but since we're talking about it, I'll go ahead. The things that, do what? The things that really got me is, let's say we have someone from California and they look at our website and they start looking at the city industrial park or Winoka's or something. I will know exactly what they're looking at, what they're interested in, and plus I will get a contact for that. So not only can we be reactive, but we can be proactive and go out and talk to them and say, oh, hey, come on. We have never had anything like that for economic development. The other thing is, like Bo said, they have the ability, whether we ever want to include that or not, but for example, the event center, it's not built yet. But because we have the engineering, they can take that and they could build a virtual event center. So let's say NFR is looking at us, I'm just making this up, but they could put on the 3D headset and they could tour that whole thing and see every aspect of that building. The rail park, they can go out there, and this is not necessarily with the 3D, but they will have it drawn out, mapped out, where people can move it, with the mouse and see how it's set up, what else, what all's there. The other thing, Kay knows, I know, but you know how many reports you have to have when you have a site? You've got your phase 1, your archaeology, your floodplains, all this paperwork that goes into being able to use that piece of land. All that information is going to be on the website. Let's say we wanted to target auto industry. They can go and they can start targeting those industries through the website.
Okay, wait, hold on just a minute.
Okay.
So now you're moving into something else.
To the marketing.
They could go far into analytics to where, it was, again, they got into the,
a recruiter also?
Basically, they're all economic development people, so that's all they do is economic development websites. So they know the information that the site selectors are gonna want. So they'll make sure we get that information on the website,
Sure.
okay? So now we've got a tool that, let's say Dow Chemicals looking to build a new plant. And for some reason, you know, they look at our website. Well, it won't tell me the name of the person, what I understand, but it'll tell me the company, and I can, you know, proactively solicit them. And the other part that was real interesting to me is they'll give a report to the board. And I don't know, I don't think they mentioned that on the call, because I don't remember them ever saying that, but on the paperwork, it says we can generate reports for the board, you know. And I don't know what that entails, but we've never had that. So it could probably tell you how many times your site was hit, who was looking at it, what areas they're, you know, looking at. So
There's a lot. I mean, they can do branding, they can do logos, they can do,
So
I would say as we move forward, we definitely want to include, Susan, the cities and the chambers, just because I know like Alva just did like a new video, paid a couple thousand, so there's probably a lot of stuff we could steal.
that's what we've talked
But
about.
why reinvent the wheel? And then we also don't want to have a thing, I mean, I could see this happening because maybe ours is more up to date than that one. So then Alva's saying this and we're like, no, wait a minute, that building's not even there, it's an open lot now, or, you know, kind of, and being on the same page.
Yes, and I talked to Tammy today, because like I said, we just got this morning. And so I called her and was picking her brain on it. And she gave me some questions to ask me. But there was the thing that they do, they also market Facebook, LinkedIn, all those social media things are included.
you know, I always break it down into two pieces. You've got the construction piece, and then you've got
Maintenance.
well, there's actually three. You've got construction, maintenance, and then you've got the real estate marketing piece. Are they responsible, or is that an additional fee for them to optimize the website to make sure that it goes where you want it to go? Because there's one, I mean, it's one thing to build a site, it's another thing to make sure people can find it.
The way I took it, each chamber could tie into this site. So
They have a link to
What
it.
what he talked about is their keywords, their associations were gonna be more geared around economic development, search type topics, and I'm speaking very layman here, so that, you know, and I can relate it back to education, so if somebody searched for educational type companies, you know, that'd be something where the tech center, the college, the high schools, and I can't even use the code that he talked about, that would allow you to be found by site selectors, people searching for those
lead
types of
forensics.
things.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah,
that's what I wrote, lead forensics is what I wrote down.
So they do the optimization to the correct search engine.
Yeah.
And some of that has a, you know,
Well, that's
there's a
what I'm
cost if
asking.
you want to pop up.
Well, yeah, I think you can get about anything you want with
Okay.
associated cost. There was basic packages all the way, I mean, like I said, they talked much further than I think any of us wanted to get into. I did look, they said they had a 95% retention rate for all the companies that they're working with, for our communities. And
Was Duncan one of their sites? Duncan
just used, they did the video part,
Right.
that's all they did.
Okay,
was
so
Duncan.
did they give us an example
Yeah,
of
you
one
got-
we could reference?
in their information,
Okay,
they're in 29 states in Canada,
you see.
and they list, I don't know how many, I never did count them, but
Yeah, I
a
didn't.
huge amount of them.
I even got to look at the
I use Duncan as just an example of a really neat
I
economic
just-
development
Yeah, I was gonna
website.
go.
It wasn't geared towards anything other than it really had a economic development flavor. If I looked at it, I mean, I could find probably recreation, quality of life, and everything, but it really tied, if I was a person looking to go to Duncan and establish a business, I could find 90% information that I was looking for there.
Where is this company located?
Do what?
Where's this company located?
They're all over. It's one of those companies that don't have basically an office. The guy we talked to was actually just north of New York, if I remember correctly.
We kind of insulted him, Kay, and I heard you breathe, because we started talking about the quality of life things, and he said, that's where, it's just like that here, where I leave my house open and unlocked as well. And we all thought,
It's in rural New York.
Yeah,
is where
it's
at,
a,
so.
he sounded more like us.
And it, on all their biographies in here, it never does say where they're located, but from talking to them, they're all over the place.
Yep. I'm
Little
not
Falls,
being-
Minnesota. You want the number, Kay?
I'll find it.
I'm just being smart about it. I'll send you a picture though. It's in Little Falls, Minnesota.
Yeah, if you want to send that to me, I'll do some recon.
I'm not trying to be negative or anything, I'm just a question. What of the services that we're talking about or going to analyze here, are any of those already provided to us by Commerce? Or, I mean, I know we need it locally, I'm not debating that at all, I'm just saying, you know.
A lot of the data mining will come from Commerce.
I'm sorry,
A lot of the data mining they'll have to do will come from
will
Commerce.
come from Commerce.
Probably.
So are we duplicating that? I mean, I'm just,
Huh.
Well, Congress is not going to provide us a website that would
No.
give us the
No.
ability.
Right.
well, I understand, yeah, but I'm just.
The only way you're going to find it is to go search for it. Okay? That brings me to another point. Getting all the vacant buildings, I would much rather have it on our website because then it's local. I can edit and do all that, or anybody that's in this position, they have a reason for looking. I don't know, how Commerce, I don't know how people use theirs for the vacant buildings that much, but.
Well, again, it's early. We'll
Yeah,
get the
we've
proposal
got a lot
out to
of-
everybody, so take a look at it, and, we'll have tons more discussion, but I don't know enough to answer probably half your all's questions, so.
I think it's a start, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a start.
And that's positive.
I'll just make this comment. If it was a regular, just plain old Jane website, I think we'd be better off without it. But if it's going to do what we want it to do, then I think we're way ahead of the game. I mentioned it to the authority this morning, and those guys were elated. That, according to them, they think that that's the direction we need to go because of the way things are being done anymore. And you don't go traveling anymore. The site selectors, has been almost sent to a halt until you get to that final step. So this is how they're finding people. Tulsa, I believe, had their website.
Bartlesville, Tulsa, and Enid, and then we talked to Lisa, over at Enid.
I talked to her, but theirs wasn't their website. It was some content kind of like
Marketing
them.
stuff, just
Yeah.
my videos.
Bartlesville, Tulsa, Enid, Duncan.
Their website's not done by Golden Shovel. I just use that as an example of what
Oh, gotcha.
the template, but they created a 10-minute video of that Golden Shovel did of Duncan that, like what you've seen, Duncan's this place, and all the amenities and quality of life things and that
That
kind of
was
stuff.
Helena, Arkansas?
Yeah.
Helena.
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 Helena. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong.
I will send you all this, and then that way you guys will have the information you can look at.
So it's Helena.
That stuff.
But I might throw this out there.
Helena.
Just,
It's Helena down the road.
okay, you
It's
might
Helena.
remember this at one time, we were working with Touchstone Energy, Western Farmers, and on New Spin 360.
Yes.
That might be something, because they were willing to pay for that, they might be willing to help offset some of the
Right.
costs.
They will,
And
I
that-
already talked to them this morning.
Yeah, we actually still use the 360, they came and did the video for us at the gallery, and we've used it ever since on our website. And so that'd be good if some of the corporates will jump in there to
I've
pay.
made some phone calls and just test the water, and that we've got some that are willing, so. Because I about fell out of my chair when I heard the price.
And I didn't, I thought it was
No,
pretty
it's-
reasonable.
But I'm used to the $300 deal that you buy the template and you build, you know, so that's me.
No.
So I wasn't used to this.
Well, remember the struggles that
Twist
we
your
had
little
when we did
technology
ours?
center employees' arms.
It's nice that, I think that the way I'm hearing it, you'll just provide the content and they will upload and make it, and we didn't have that. So,
No, it's,
Even provided some of the technical writing around, so I sent them a picture of the snake hunt or, you know, something that they would even provide technical writing around that for feedback to you. I thought that was an interesting concept too.
So look, I guess basically look forward to getting the proposal, and then, you know, if we can set up another
Right.
meeting for some other board members to talk to them.
I'll tell you, he's already emailed me, wanting me to call him. So after we get through, I'll probably call him and probably
he
have
called
more
this
information.
morning, but you were out, so.
And I'll send all of you guys this thing we just got this morning, so.
Okay. Again, that's just discussions, no action. Industrial update, on number 8, anything, Neil?
Yeah. As soon as I write this. Had a meeting with them this morning, and like I said, they were, 100% behind on doing something like this. I mentioned to them about possibly in the future looking at many places for entrepreneurs, and they thought that was a good idea. So that's all we did on that. We didn't discuss a lot on that, but so that's about the only update on them I've got.
What if, NWOA, I mean, anything other than what we just discussed?
nope, that's the Northwest Oklahoma
Yep.
Alliance. And
Oh,
the others,
Yes,
the
it's a good.
yeah,
Tri-County.
The Alliance, they're having a meeting, and I believe it's in Enid, coming up. And I'd have to get you the date for sure, but I can't remember exactly when it was. Do you know, Kay? On the-
Well, they have a monthly meeting, but are you talking about a?
No, this
meeting?
is something they're doing in Enid. Anyway, I'll send that out to you guys.
are they still doing, are they Zoom those?
They're
So,
Zoom,
yeah,
The last one I went to was Zoom.
because the last one was canceled.
right. And I think, when I talked to you the other day about the legislative thing, we don't know yet if that's gonna happen. or-
Yeah, we don't know for sure at this point, but
Okay.
the legislative event will be in March. But like she said, we're not sure whether that's going to be in person or even happen. So, but anybody that can go to that, if it's in person, I say we go to it. We have a huge number of legislators there, a good chance to talk about the things that are in rural Oklahoma that we're needing or would like to see. And there's no seating chart anymore.
No
Barclay.
Has there been a new soup name? Sorry, my brain just triggered my brain.
All right, executive director's report, item 10.
I'm just going to go through some of the things that we've worked on since our last meeting. I connected Plain Plastics and Premier Aero with the Department of Commerce. They have meetings quite often with manufacturing in aerospace. They assist them with trade shows, which, as we well know, those have been kind of X'd, and they've been doing them through Zoom. So. But anyway, it also helps them with bidding for government and other types of industry for airplane parts. And so if they have the desire, they can find parts that they can actually make or something and then bid on them with their assistance, and they have meetings. I've been meeting with them almost monthly on different projects, different things that are going on. I worked with a group to, a couple young men to purchase a business that's existing here in town. That's probably not going to work out like we wanted, but I will continue to try and find somebody to take that over. See, we gave, Commerce came in, we gave them a tour. They asked me to pick 3 businesses out of Alva that got the CARES funding. We went around and visited all 3, which one was VAT. And I talked to VAT just last week, and at that meeting they told us 3 contracts that they were trying to secure. They secured one of them, which will be a healthy addition to what they're doing. 2 of them, and one of them is a new group they will meet with today, and then the 12th. They have, the one on the 12th is bigger than all of them put together, so that could be a huge deal for that. So VAP at this point is looking to hire 21 more employees at this point. And he said he was wanting to get a hold of Bo.
Is that full-time, part-time?
He didn't really say, but I'm going to guess it'll be full-time because they're looking at putting a 3rd shift on.
Okay.
So, still working on Project Grow. I'm not sure where that'll go, but we're still working on it. The committee, or the AWAR Grill Park, hired a marketing firm, and I brought that so you could look at it. Wesley, Cornell Wesley, he's familiar and done a lot of grant work, so he tells me that there isn't anything on a grant he doesn't know about. So, huge benefit. So, but they're going to be marketing and working with AVARD on the park. So that's, to me, is real exciting.
He was with EDA and Commerce, so that might be something that you guys keep in mind if
Commerce here or US?
Been working with Bo and Darren, and we're trying to work on entrepreneurship programs, robotics and drones, seeing where that goes. Working with the county groups, as you know, we combine the chambers and the city managers and trying to meet monthly so that we can keep up and keep informed and see how we can help everybody with the same issues that we're all going to have. And so I think that's gone pretty well now. This month we canceled because of the COVID and all that, but we will continue to work with that. I've been contacting the film authority to look at the possibility of having soundstage here, and I want to get a hold of McDaniels and see, because we have filmed a couple films here. So I know Commerce, I probably meet with them 2-3 times a month through Zoom. And coming up, they're trying to get an incentive for the movie theaters, or movie industry. So they told us how many's already relocated to Oklahoma because we haven't shut down for COVID. And so they were able to film. seems to me like there was either a dozen or half dozen communities that have done the sound stage for them. One company has 250 employees that do films that moved here, and I'm thinking that was in Oklahoma City. I had no idea that there would be that many employees in something like that, so I think that's something that we want to look into, because it doesn't take a whole lot to make a sound stage. You know, building and some insulation, and you're ready to go, because they build the sets inside there. Broadband, as you know, we've been working, trying to get that up and going.
How's that going, or
Huh?
how's that going?
Broadband's going to be here in the next couple of weeks, Chisholm Broadband. So, working with Jay Loman at Wheeler Brothers, and they're at the final stages of getting that set up. Once they get that set up, he's moving in with the equipment. We talked to other elevators in Freedom, and we'll be talking to Winoka's, which is owned by Tacoma, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So I'm thinking we can get almost all the locations, Knowles, Ashley, all those with repeater type equipment up. And then that will give us coverage for the entire county. And that'll start in the next couple of weeks. And he's investing his money at this point. So we're going to try to see if we can't get some way, and I hope it's okay, Bo, but to help the cities get grants to own some of their own equipment, whether it's for his stuff or whether it's fiber or whatever, so that our communities can have ownership of some infrastructure. Let's see. I've contacted OG&E. I had a contact in there that were able to make different reports that we can use economic development wise. I just did one, or called her. I didn't do it, but I got a contact with her, and she did us a gap analysis for Alva. So that the retail people were going to get together and they're going to go over and find the shortages on what we're not doing in Alva, so that we can fill those gaps, if it's possible. Still working on the packing plant. Roland Peterson called me, and he said he had heard we were working on packing, and he wants to help any way he can. Even though he doesn't represent our area, he wants to get involved. And still gathering vacant lot and vacant buildings. I'm still gathering that data. And I have it in a file at my office. I haven't had a chance to put it in any form yet, but working with the city on the REDI assessment, and what that's going to allow them to do once the assessment's done, and they'll be available some grant funding for various projects. As well as
Our city strategic plan put together.
and you can speak to
Who's
that.
doing that?
Well, I need you to ask me that.
EDA,
Well, the company we're working with, I can email it to you. We've been in 2 meetings with her, and our next one's coming up next week. But we had a small meeting last week or the week before. Right now, we're just getting some of the final data stuff to put together.
Who's feeding them the data?
Well, for us, Angelica,
Okay,
for what she asked about it, I mean, it's more of a city
I'll talk to you after.
infrastructure.
I've worked with Tom Lucas, and we're putting together an assessment of the area, not just Woods County, but the surrounding area, on minerals and things like that that we have in our soils and different, for example, bindweed. Now, I had no idea, but bindweed is a cancer, I don't know, elixir or whatever they call it. I had no idea, but so there's some things that we have out here that if we get the right party interested, you know, they can locate a plant or something here to,
You mean bindweed's being used to treat cancer?
yes.
Thought you were referring to bindweed as a cancer.
No.
Because it is
It is.
invasive. It
It
is, that's
is.
why I thought you were like,
No.
yeah, it is, and then I caught on. Okay, well, that's great. if they-
So
Jay,
there's cedar, red cedar, you know, it's got an oil in it that's
Yeah.
good for termites and, you know, things. So, I mean, we've bentonite, iodine, you know, those type of things. Because if we can get a company here because of one of those natural resources, the chances of them moving are not very good unless they run out of the natural resource. So we're looking at that. Working to identify all of, and Jeremy saw the presentation, so he'll say, well, that wasn't all that great, but
Oh, it's good.
infrastructure, making sure that we have the infrastructure in our county that's required to attract an industry, you know, so that we don't have to play catch up if somebody wants to locate here. The Alva Arena project, we're still working on it. Hopefully before long, you know, we'll be at a point where we can say, do something. We've already talked about the website. I'm working right now, and because I signed a confidentiality agreement, I can't talk a lot about it, but I'll say it's from another country. They're looking at Alva. If they do something, there's a possibility of 20-plus employees. So, and I have found out that talking to somebody on the phone from another country that English is not their primary language is a lot more difficult than I had anticipated. So most of our communications are email back and forth, and hopefully within a short period of time, we'll have them over here. We're trying to secure some things that they need for their business. I don't think I've missed a whole lot. I know there's some things I forgot about, but anyway, so that's kind of what we've been doing since we last met. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Okay, thank you, that was a good report. A lot of things going on. Any new business? Okay, hearing none, any announcements?
I gave all of you guys
Yeah.
a copy of the Senate committee chairs and vice chairs from the Republican side of the aisle. Democrats will be doing that soon. This is at the state legislature. And then I just got word from Ashley Ferguson, who's the regional public info person for Oklahoma State Department of Health. Vaccine distribution will begin, let's see, this week, first of next week. That's Pfizer. Moderna will be available December 22nd. And the Woods County Health Department will be providing public information through a variety of means on when it's available and how it will be distributed. So the public is encouraged to watch their website, Facebook, and they're probably going to publish some things in the paper, would be my guess, as it rolls out.
Okay, thank you, that's very helpful. All right, any other announcements? If not,